D.R. Horton, they need to build houses. There's a housing shortage in America. Who are they going to buy the land from, right? Why don't they buy it from me? They could buy it from you. I'm not more special than anyone else, but I'm also not less. You get what I'm saying? It's like they're going to buy it from somebody. Might as well buy it from me.
Imagine making six-figure profits without spending thousands on direct mail, without cold calling, and without chasing unmotivated sellers. Sounds too good to be true? Think again. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Only LandFans Show. I'm Kendall Lejeune, and in today's episode, a strategy that completely flips traditional land investing on its head. What if I told you that you could lock down off-market land deals just by sending emails? That's exactly what Meir Shemtov has perfected. Meir is a seven-figure land investor who built his entire business using cold email. Yep, no expensive marketing, no massive ad budgets. He's also the founder of landemails.com, a done-for-you service that helps investors generate hot seller leads without lifting a finger. Today, he's sharing his whole system, how to find landowners, craft emails they actually respond to, and close deals like a pro. If you've ever wanted to work smarter instead of harder, this one's for you. Let's dive in.
I was living in New York back in 2020, and I had a co-living business, and I had that for a couple of years. And then I sold that right before COVID, actually, to my partner. And my brother had a friend who was buying and selling land, and my brother got into it. And my brother and I had an e-commerce company at the time, right after I left my co-living business. And he was like so busy with his land business. And we were starting out this e-commerce company. And he was like, dude, I'm not passionate about this e-commerce stuff anymore. It's so tedious and time consuming and boring. And like, I'm doing all these deals and like, I just don't want to continue doing these e-commerce. And he's like, would you be upset if I like stop working with you on this Amazon stuff? I'm like, I won't be upset. Just show me what you're doing. And he was just showing me what he was doing. And I was like, great, this is just going to be our next thing. Demand and supply, like understanding a product that is in high demand and there's low supply. And that's the same in every industry, but in land, we're using software, we're using technology to identify what is a market that has high demand, low supply, where we can bring this product to market and right away get it sold. It's the same thing online.
Meir's journey proves one of the biggest truths in business. Success isn't about the industry. It's about the principles you apply. He spotted demand, figured out how to meet it, and moved fast. Think about e-commerce. Sellers research trending products, buy them at low cost, and flip them for a profit. Now apply that to land. Investors identify high growth areas, lock down properties at a discount, and sell them to eager buyers. Same strategy, different asset. And the key, speed. While others were overanalyzing if land was right for them, Meir saw proof of concept and jumped in. No endless research, no waiting for the perfect moment, just action. If you're still sitting on the sidelines, this is your wake-up call.
I started meeting with the neighbors, meeting with the sellers, just meeting with a title company, meeting with a broker. And I realized that I didn't have money to buy all of these. But there was some margin, some profits to be made. And that's when I started learning more. It's not my strategy, but developing my own flavor and how to really double close something, how to explain it to the seller, how to explain to the buyer, how to explain to the agent. It wasn't very common then. And I was able to sell a lot of these parcels without actually buying them. And shortly after that, I started getting into the six-figure deals, and I double closed something for $500,000. And it was just growing from there. And that's when I realized I could do bigger deals, much bigger deals with much bigger profit margins if I don't necessarily buy everything and then sell. Granted, there's a lot of issues with that. If you want, we can get into it, but double closing has a lot of challenges and risks and like everything. But because I was cash strapped, and also I learned from my mistake with this 90-degree slope, I was like, okay, I gotta maybe take it a little slower here. So that's really how I got into double closing.
This is one of the smartest moves in land investing, double closing. Why? Because it lets you flip land without tying up your own cash. Here's how it works. You find a seller willing to let go of their land for, let's say, $50,000. You lock it up under contract, then you find a buyer willing to pay, let's say, $75,000. Once the buyer's locked in, both deals close the same day. The buyer's funds cover everything, and the $25,000 difference, that's yours. No loans, no risk, just strategy. The trick is structuring the contract the right way so everything flows smoothly at closing. If you're finding this valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And drop a comment below. What's your biggest takeaway so far?
Who are sellers? People who own land and we want to buy from them, right? Who are they? They're regular people, right? They wake up, they check their phone, they go to work, right? So these people, they're getting mail left and center. They're getting texts from every land investor, especially if they have land in some county. They're getting bombarded from all sides. But none of them are getting an email to their either work email or personal email, well-written email, professionally written, saying, hey, Kendall, I noticed you have 10 acres in whatever, Georgia, or whatever, North Carolina, or whatever, Nevada. And I was wondering if you want to sell it. We're paying roughly about $3,000 to $4,000 an acre. Would you ever sell it? So something like that, right? That's very different than getting all these like blind offer mailers that go to the garbage. Okay. That's very different. So when I started skip tracing data to send text messages, I noticed that some of the columns had email addresses. And I'm like, why don't we use email? Why don't we send them emails? And I noticed that it was very difficult to do it and to land in the inbox and not in some like spam or promotions tab. And that's when I realized that's probably why no one does it. Because texting doesn't really have any, not yet, probably in a couple of years, Apple's going to roll it out. But if you text someone, it's a text. It doesn't matter if it's spam and it doesn't matter if it's if it's your mother, it's going to show up in your text. But email is different. So I started doing my own shtick with email, trying to see if I can figure out how to get into people's inboxes. And I did. And it was a lot of work. And I almost compromised my entire domain because, like an idiot, I was using my actual domain, my actual email. And next thing I'm emailing documents to title and it's going to their spam folder because I just spammed 1,000 people. There's a lot of mistakes that I learned and I've gone through that I had to overcome. And it was pretty complicated. And it still is, right? So think about it. When you check your email, when you go to your promotions or spam tab, there's like multi-billion-dollar companies that are still landing in those tabs, right? So who am I to say that I have better marketing than them? But because I'm smaller and because I'm more nimble and I'm able to do all these little tricks, I'm able to actually land people's in a very clean way.
Let's talk about why cold email works so well in land investing. Unlike direct mail, which can take weeks or months to get a response, if it even gets opened at all, cold email is instant. It lands directly in someone's inbox where they're already checking messages throughout the day. But the key? Writing the right emails. Instead of, hi, I want to buy your land, Meir focuses on crafting messages that spark curiosity and conversation. Think about it from the seller's perspective. If they get a clear, well-written email offering them an easy way to sell, they're way more likely to reply. And the best part is you can reach hundreds, even thousands of landowners in a fraction of the time it takes to send mailers.
This guy wanted 360 for his property. This is when, before I built out the team, this was a while ago. I just remember it because we were texting and the guy texted back 360, just those three numbers, 360, 360. That's how much he wants for a property. No, hey, how are you? Nothing. 360. In my mind, I'm like, this guy's a waste of time. He's not motivated, whatever. I called an agent and he's like, maybe you can get 400, maybe 410. I was like, okay, maybe after 8, maybe I'll make 1020 after everything. Then I called another guy and this guy was much younger and more like into, and this was like an hour or 40 minutes away, about 40 minutes away from Austin. And this guy is, you can sell us for $510,000. And I said, you sure? He said, I'm sure. I'm like, who, why, when? You're right out of Austin. There's a lot of money in Austin. There's a lot of young tech people. This is a beautiful view. I drove there. I saw it. You can get 510 for it. He listed it for 510 and we got 510 for it. And when the time came to close, I didn't wire anything. The 510 came in from the buyer and he even got a loan on it, which a lot of people are like, how do you double close with a lender? It didn't matter. 510 came in, the seller got his 360, the agent got his like 20 something thousand that he made on it, and everybody else got paid, and then they wired us the rest. And you better believe that agent answers my phone calls every time I call him, right?
This deal is the perfect example of how strategy and relationships make all the difference in land investing. Meir didn't just luck into a $500,000 deal. He made it happen by combining smart outreach, solid negotiation, and expert deal structuring. Here's how it went down. Meir found a seller with a large piece of land that wasn't even on the market. Using his cold email system, he got them to the negotiation table. But instead of putting his own money on the line, he lined up an in buyer willing to pay way more than the seller's price. The real game changer here is that the right real estate agent was involved. Meir stresses that working with agents who actually understand land is an absolute must. Unlike residential agents, land specialists know how to price acreage, attract developers, and handle zoning laws. Having the right agent can turn a basic flip into a six-figure win. By structuring the deal the right way, Meir made sure that the buyer's funds covered everything, so the seller got paid and his profit was locked in. No money out of pocket, no risk, just a smart, well-executed move. Want to connect with other land investors and dive deeper? Join our exclusive community at onlylandfansgroup.com. All right, let's talk about what went down in today's episode because there was a lot to unpack. Meir's shift from e-commerce to land investing was all about spotting opportunities. He didn't overthink it. He saw a market with demand, jumped in, and adapted along the way. It's the same principle behind any successful business. Find what people need, connect the dots, and make it happen. If you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for that perfect moment, this should be your sign to just start. Then we got into double close strategy, and honestly, this is one of the smartest ways to flip land. You're locking up a property under contract, lining up a buyer, and closing both deals on the same day without ever using your own money. The buyer's funds pay for everything, and you keep the profit in between. No risk, no capital tied up, just strategy and execution. If you're trying to scale without a ton of cash, this is something to pay attention to. Next, we talked about cold emailing landowners, and Meir made a great point. Sellers are just regular people checking their email like the rest of us. This isn't spam if you do it right. Unlike direct mail, which takes forever and costs a fortune, cold email gets you straight into a seller's inbox, where they're already paying attention. The key is writing emails that feel like real conversations, not a sales pitch. If you can do that, you'll get way more response in way less time. And then there was that monster $500,000 deal. This one really brought everything together. Meir used all these strategies: cold email, double closing, and most importantly, working with the right real estate agents. This part is huge. A good agent doesn't just list properties. They help you price them right, find buyers, and make sure deals actually close. If you're not building relationships with land-savvy agents, you're making this way harder than it needs to be. Bottom line, the investors who win are the ones who move fast, use the right strategies, and build the right connections. If you're still waiting for the perfect time to start, you're already behind. Meir's approach is a game changer for land investors. His cold email strategy gives you direct access to sellers, while his double close method ensures you never have to risk your own money. The key takeaway? Take action, reach out to sellers, and structure your deals the smart way. The investors who move the fastest lock in the best opportunities. And that's just the beginning. If you want to dive deeper into Meir's full strategy and hear the uncut conversation, head over to our YouTube channel now. And if this episode gave you value, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and drop a comment below with your biggest takeaway. For even more behind-the-scenes insights, case studies, and resources to scale your land business, join our exclusive community at onlylandfansgroup.com. There, you can connect with other investors, get expert guidance, and stay ahead of the competition. That's it for today. Keep pushing forward, keep perfecting your craft, and we'll see you in the next one. Hey, land fans! Tired of sellers ghosting faster than your ex? Get ready. Our friend Ajay Sharma has created the ultimate program to transform your acquisition game. Land Closers Academy brings you weekly call reviews, a powerhouse community, and the proven system for turning leads into signed contracts. And check this out. Sign up now at olfclosers.com and you'll get my personal call review template that's crushing it with both my team and my coaching clients. This is the exact system we use to level up acquisition managers and consistently grow their closing skills. It's a game changer for managing your team. Ready to close more deals? Head to olfclosers.com and let's get you crushing it. Because the only thing getting ghosted should be your old closing rate.
Boom.